Ethnogate scandal has put the provincial Liberal Party into a tailspin. The Liberals are sinking in the polls, and now members of Christy Clark's own party seem to be turning against her. Joining us now with his thoughts on the turmoil rocking the BC Liberals is Tsakumis. He is a political commentator and radio host in BC. He joins us live from Vancouver. Thank you so much for joining us today, Alex.
My pleasure.
I understand you've learned some new developments in this story. Let's start off with those. What have you learned?
I have. In the fall of 2011, every single person on the distribution list of that, what I considered to be a borderline, if not full-on racist document, were convened. There was a meeting convened in the east wing of the legislature in the Pine Room. And leading that discussion, leading that meeting was Kim Hackstad, who just resigned as Deputy Chief of Staff to Christy Clark. She told every single last person in that room unequivocally that she had met with the Premier and met with the Premier twice about this particular scheme of how to get quick hits on ethnic voting, and that the Premier considered it, quote-unquote, a top priority. Now, this is significantly, very significantly, a departure from what the Premier has been telling everyone, the media, the public, her own cabinet, her own caucus, that she knew nothing about this, that the document was a foreign entity to her. The document may have been. The document may have been something that she didn't see. Maybe she saw a first draft or a second draft. The reality is that the Premier was aware, according to sources who are very familiar with the meeting, and she was aware of this scheme, and she approved it and considered it, quote-unquote, a top priority.
Yeah, that certainly is significant, seeing as we've heard from Christy Clark. She seemed to be distancing herself from the entire scandal. She was trying to lay low on the weekend, no planned public events. Next thing you know, she's at an emergency caucus meeting on Sunday, and there are these calls for her resignation. Give me a sense, what is happening within the Liberal Party? Is there a rift, in your opinion, within caucus, not just those party offices, but within her own caucus?
There's a massive rift. The problem is that those people, most of those people who want to see her gone, are either those without any power, meaning that they are not cabinet ministers, and or they're people who are no longer interested in running for this party. That presents two issues for this particular Premier. One, is she saying that those ridings that are represented by those MLAs are of no importance to her, because certainly the public opinions from those MLAs will color the opinions of those constituents. And two, is this Premier saying you're either with me or you're against me? Because this is what John Cummins of the Conservative Party did, the leader of the Conservative Party in BC did 6 months ago, and their polling went from 22% to 11%. And the Liberals cannot afford to lose any more than they've lost. They've moved 1% in the last 6 months in the polls, and they are at risk now of losing some very secure ridings. So those people that were at the cabinet meeting yesterday convened it only so that they could put pressure on the caucus members that may speak up today. That's not going to be the problem for Christy Clark or for the BC Liberals. What's going to be the problem for them is that information like the news that I've just broken here on national TV is going to start seeping out from under their doors. People are very angry. The Premier, I understand, plans on dropping this entire scandal at the feet of those people on that distribution list. I understand that she's trying to cut ties with people that she's had political connection to for 20 plus years. She is in deep, deep trouble. In fact, if she really wants to save herself, she should probably resign, because it'll give her more of an opportunity to hide. Look what she did last night. She waited until the 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock dinner hour news was over, and only then did she emerge to make any public comments. I
Yeah,
mean,
absolutely interesting. The turn of events, so much happening there, and it really could mean the death blow for the Liberals in BC, depending on how this scandal goes and what more happens. So we will be following it very closely. I want to thank you, Alex, for joining us with your insight and bringing us that breaking news.
my pleasure to be here.
All right, thank you again. And tonight on Battleground here on SunNews, we'll have political pundits from all sides.